At my friend's birthday party, my husband got drunk and disappeared for hours. Curious, I checked the security footage the next day. My heart stopped as I saw him sneaking off with a woman, straight into a guest room. That evening, I confronted him with the footage playing on the TV. He turned pale, stammering, "It was a mistake." I smiled and said, "So is your future." Because I'm about to ruin it. I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but I need to tell someone. It's been eating me alive. I, 34 female, have been married to my husband, Mark, 36 male, for 8 years. We live in a small suburb near Pasadena, California. We don't have kids, but we've built a life. A house, friends, routines. Everything felt stable. Not perfect, but stable. Until last weekend. My best friend Lisa turned 35, and she threw a birthday party at her house in the valley. Lisa and I have been friends since college. She and her husband live in a beautiful place with a backyard pool and a big living room that's perfect for hosting. She invited about 25 people, friends from work, neighbors, some of her husband's coworkers, and of course, us. Mark didn't really want to go. He said he was tired from work, he's a construction manager, but I asked him to come anyway. I told him it would mean a lot to Lisa and me. He said fine. He was quiet on the drive there, which I didn't think too much of at the time. We got to the party around 6 p.m. People were already drinking, laughing, and grilling outside. Lisa gave me a huge hug. Mark headed straight to the cooler and grabbed a beer. Normal stuff. At first, everything was fine. I mingled, caught up with some of Lisa's friends, had a glass of wine. Mark stayed mostly near the drinks. He talked to a few guys near the fire pit, then started chatting with a woman I didn't know. I noticed her because she laughed really loud, and Mark was standing close to her. But again, nothing too weird. I trusted him. As the night went on, Mark kept drinking. I'm talking 5, 6, maybe 7 beers. Then he switched to tequila shots. That's when I started to worry. He's not a big drinker at home. He'll have 1 or 2 with dinner sometimes, but this was different. I asked him if he was okay, and he just smiled and said, "Relax, it's a party." Around 11:30 p.m., I lost track of him. I was talking with Lisa in the kitchen when I realized I hadn't seen Mark in a while. I checked the backyard, nope. The living room, empty. I texted him. No reply. I even called. It rang once, then went to voicemail. I started to feel sick. I looked around the house but didn't want to make a scene. So I waited. Another 30 minutes passed. Then an hour. By 1 a.m., most of the guests had left. I found Lisa and asked if she'd seen him. She said, "No, not since earlier." Maybe he passed out somewhere? That gave me an idea. Lisa's house has 3 guest rooms. I asked if I could look. She said sure. I checked the rooms, one was empty, the other had coats and bags on the bed, and the last one was locked. I knocked. No answer. Something in my gut twisted. I didn't press it. I didn't want to believe something bad was happening. I told Lisa I was going to head home. She offered to drive me, but I said I'd take an Uber and let Mark find his own way back. When I got home, Mark wasn't there. He walked in around 4:30 a.m., reeking of booze, mumbling something about falling asleep in a spare room. I was lying in bed, wide awake. He stripped down and crawled in next to me like nothing happened. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, Lisa called. She said she was missing a few things, her husband's sunglasses, a charger, some earrings. Nothing major, but it made her want to check the house cameras. Her house has 2 security cameras inside. One in the hallway by the guest rooms and one in the living room pointed toward the back door. She asked me, very gently, if I wanted to come see something. Her voice didn't sound normal. I felt my stomach drop. I got to her place around noon. We sat down in her living room. She had the footage loaded on her laptop. She didn't say anything. Just pressed play. It was from around 11:45 p.m. I saw Mark. My husband. Walking down the hallway with that same loud-laughing woman. She was holding his hand. He looked over his shoulder, then quickly opened the guest room door, the one that had been locked. They both slipped inside. He closed the door. The hallway camera didn't have sound, but it didn't need it. They didn't come back out for 3 hours. I couldn't breathe. My hands were shaking. I kept watching that 10-second clip over and over like it might change. But it didn't. It was clear. So clear. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there staring at the screen while Lisa kept whispering, "I'm so sorry." I nodded and left. Got in my car. Drove home. When I walked through the front door, Mark was on the couch watching TV. He looked up, smiling. "Hey babe. You okay? You left early last night." I didn't say anything. I walked over to the TV, unplugged it, connected my laptop, and pulled up the footage. I pressed play. He sat frozen, watching himself sneak into a guest room with another woman. His face turned ghost white. "It was a mistake," he whispered. I stood there, hands clenched. He stammered. "I was drunk. I didn't mean to. I don't even remember what happened." I didn't speak. Just stared at him. He kept going. "It was nothing. Please, let's just talk. Don't throw everything away over one night." I finally said, "So was your future?" "Because I'm about to ruin it." And then I walked into our bedroom. Locked the door. He knocked. Cried. Begged. I didn't open it. And I haven't said a word to him since. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling while Mark slept on the couch. The next morning, I called in sick. I couldn't sit at my desk pretending everything was normal. I couldn't talk to clients or answer emails. My brain was foggy, my chest tight. I just sat at the kitchen table, staring at the wall. Mark tried again. He knocked on the bedroom door around 10 a.m. His voice was soft, broken. "Please, let me explain. It's not what it looked like." I didn't answer. He stood there for a few minutes, then slid a note under the door. I didn't pick it up. I just stared at it for hours. A wrinkled piece of lined paper with a shaky scribble of his handwriting. I couldn't bring myself to read it. Around noon, my phone buzzed. It was Lisa. "I think you need to know something else," she said, her voice lower this time. "That woman, the one from the party, she wasn't just some random guest." I felt my heart tighten. "What do you mean?" "She wasn't invited," Lisa said. "She came with someone, my husband's coworker, Ben. But here's the thing, Ben didn't even know her that well. Said she was someone Mark introduced to him last week." "What?" I blinked. "Mark knew her before the party?" Lisa was quiet. "Yeah. I think so." I asked Ben straight up. He said Mark brought her up casually in conversation earlier that week. Like he was planning to bring her or wanted her there. I felt the blood rush to my head. "So you're telling me he didn't meet her at the party?" I asked, my voice cracking. "No," Lisa said. "I think she was already part of whatever this was." I hung up. My hands were trembling. My mouth went dry. This wasn't a drunken mistake. This was planned. A few hours later, I finally walked out of the bedroom. Mark was still on the couch, holding his phone, looking like he hadn't moved. "You knew her," I said. He blinked like I'd slapped him. "What?" "You knew her before the party." He didn't answer. "I talked to Lisa," I said. "You brought her there. You planned it." He stood up too fast, knocking over the coffee mug on the side table. It shattered on the floor. "No. I mean, yes, I knew her. But not like that. We met a few weeks ago at a job site. She was. I don't know, she worked in the permit office. We only talked a few times." "You invited her to Lisa's party," I snapped. "You didn't just meet her." Mark ran his hands through his hair. "Okay. Fine. I invited her. But I didn't think anything would happen. I just liked the attention. That's all. We didn't sleep together, I swear." I laughed bitterly. "You expect me to believe that?" He looked desperate. "I was drunk. I was stupid. But it didn't mean anything." Then he dropped another bomb. "She told me she was pregnant." Everything around me froze. "What did you just say?" "She said she was pregnant," he said again. "A few days before the party." I didn't believe her. I still don't. I think she was lying to mess with me. My knees buckled. I sat on the arm of the couch. "Pregnant," I whispered. "She said she was going to come to the party and talk to me," Mark said. "I didn't invite her, I swear. I told her not to come. I didn't want you to find out." I was shaking all over. "So she was blackmailing you?" "I don't know," he said. "I think she wanted to cause trouble." I messed up. I swear, nothing happened since. It was just one stupid week where I lost control. There was a long silence. Then my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I picked it up. A message. You should know the man you're defending was with me way before your friend's party. He's lying to both of us. My hands went cold. I showed Mark the message. His face turned gray. I don't know who that is, he said too quickly. The phone buzzed again. A photo. Mark. Lying shirtless in a bed. Not our bed. His wedding ring still on. Timestamp, 2 weeks ago. I stood up slowly. You want to keep lying, or do you want to tell me the whole story? Mark just sank to the floor. That was 3 days ago. Now I'm sitting here writing this. He's still in the house. I haven't said a word to him since. And now I'm thinking about the next steps. Because it's not just about a mistake at a party anymore. It's about lies on top of lies. And I'm starting to wonder how long this has really been going on. After I saw that photo, the one with Mark shirtless in some strange bed, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling all night, trying to piece everything together. The photo was real. Timestamped. Clear. The bedsheets were navy blue, not like ours. There was a gold-framed mirror on the wall behind him. I couldn't stop looking at it. I saved the picture, then blocked the number. I didn't want her to have any more power over me. Mark didn't even try to talk the next day. He stayed in the guest room. Good. I needed space. I couldn't focus at work, so I took another day off. I called Lisa. I asked her something I hadn't dared to say before. Can I see all the footage? She hesitated. Are you sure? I need to know everything. So I went over. We sat in her home office and pulled it up. Lisa had 5 cameras in total. One in the hallway, one in the living room, one by the front door, one in the kitchen, and one in the backyard. What I saw shook me. It wasn't just Mark and that woman sneaking off. They had talked multiple times throughout the night. In the backyard. In the hallway. Once in the kitchen when no one else was around. They weren't strangers. They had inside jokes. At one point, she touched his chest. He didn't stop her. He smiled. But there was something else. In the backyard footage, I noticed Lisa's husband, Josh, staring at them from across the yard. Not just once. A few times. His face was tense. Like he knew something. I asked Lisa, did Josh ever say anything? She looked confused. No. Why? I turned the laptop and showed her the freeze frame of Josh watching them. Her face changed. Oh my God. Can you ask him what he saw? She nodded slowly. I went home. A few hours later, Lisa called. Her voice was shaking. He knew, she said. Josh knew something. What did he say? She paused. He said he saw Mark with her before. Not at the party. A month ago. At a hotel in Glendale. I felt the air leave my lungs. Why didn't he say anything? Because he wasn't sure, Lisa said. And, there's more. I braced myself. Josh recognized her. Her name's Tanya. She's been around the construction sites for a while. She's not with the permit office. She's not even in that line of work. What does she do? Lisa whispered, private investigator. Works freelance. I blinked. What? I don't know how, but Josh remembers seeing her following someone else once. She was tailing some guy suspected of embezzling from a real estate firm. She's not some random girl. She's something else. I stared at the phone. Everything was upside down. Why would a private investigator be hanging around Mark? Why would she tell me she was pregnant? Why would she send me a picture, then vanish? I needed answers. That night, I waited until Mark was asleep. I took his phone from the nightstand. I know. I shouldn't have. But I did. I unlocked it with his thumb while he snored and opened his texts. There it was. Tanya. Hundreds of messages. Weeks worth. It didn't start out romantic. It started like a business arrangement. Let me know when you can talk. I have the info on your brother. My heart dropped. Mark's younger brother, Leo, has been in and out of trouble for years. Gambling. Rehab. Arrested once for assault. We barely talk about him. I scrolled through more. I need proof before I talk to my wife. Got photos. They match the guy who took the money. I'll send more tomorrow. Then suddenly, 2 weeks ago, the tone changed. Can't stop thinking about you. Last night was amazing. Come to the party. I want to see you again. We'll find time alone. He did invite her. He did plan it. But now it wasn't just cheating. He hired her. For something. To spy on Leo? On someone else? Then crossed a line. And now, she was playing both of us. I took screenshots of everything. Sent them to my email. Put the phone back. I sat on the couch all night staring at the wall. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just felt cold. The man I married wasn't just a cheater. He was hiding secrets inside of secrets. After I found those texts on Mark's phone, something inside me broke. This wasn't just cheating. It wasn't just one stupid night. This was planned. Hidden. Carefully layered like some twisted game. I didn't say anything that morning. I pretended everything was normal. I made coffee. He sat across from me at the table like we hadn't collapsed as a couple. Like nothing had changed. I couldn't take it anymore. So I made a plan. I reached out to Tanya. I used a burner email, one he wouldn't see. I said I needed to talk. That I wasn't mad. That I just wanted the truth. I wasn't sure she'd answer. But she did. She agreed to meet me. At a cafe near Highland Park. Neutral ground. I told Lisa everything. She wanted to come, but I said no. I needed to do this alone. I got there early. I sat by the window. Tanya showed up 10 minutes late. She looked normal. Jeans. Black top. No makeup. Just a woman who could have been anyone's coworker, sister, barista. She sat down, calmly. Like we were about to chat about a shared hobby. I didn't waste time. Who are you really? She sighed, like she'd been waiting for the question. My name is Tanya. I do freelance PI work. Most of the time it's boring, insurance stuff, surveillance for lawyers, that kind of thing. So what was this? I asked. Your husband hired me, she said plainly. To follow his brother. But that's not where it ended. I stared at her. He started texting more. Asking about things outside the case. Personal things. Then he invited me to drinks. I should have said no. But I didn't. Did you sleep with him? I asked. Yes, she said. No pause. No hesitation. I felt my throat tighten. But it wasn't just that, she added. He told me things. That your marriage was falling apart. That you worked too much. That he felt invisible. I gritted my teeth. So you comforted him? No, she said. I used him. At first. I wanted access to information he had from his job. It tied into a case I was working for someone else. But then I got pulled in. I didn't expect him to fall for me. He fell for you? I said, almost laughing. She looked down. He said he was going to leave you. That hit harder than anything else. Not because I believed her. But because part of me knew. Mark would have said that. He would have promised anything if it meant avoiding the truth. I stood up. I got what I needed. She looked up. Are you going to stay with him? I haven't decided yet, I said. But I know I'm done being lied to. That night, I told Mark to invite his brother Leo over. He looked surprised, but agreed. Leo showed up around 7 p.m. Bag of chips in hand, like he thought we were hanging out to watch a game. Sit down, I said. Both of you. Mark sat first. Leo followed, frowning. I pulled up the screenshots. The texts. The photo. The emails. Mark's face went white again. Leo stared at the screen. What the hell is this? I looked straight at Mark. Tell him. Mark shook his head slowly. I didn't mean for this to happen. Tell him, I repeated, louder this time. Mark turned to Leo. I thought you were stealing from the company. I thought you were going to get us both in trouble. So I hired someone to look into you. Leo stood up, furious. You thought I was stealing? You have a record. Mark snapped. You're always lying, always broke, what was I supposed to think? Leo laughed. Bitter. You'd rather hire a PI than ask your own brother? It wasn't like that, Mark said, panicked now. I was trying to protect us, you were trying to protect yourself. I shouted. You hired a woman, slept with her, lied to me, and tried to destroy your brother behind his back. Mark looked around the room like he was drowning. I messed up. I know. But I didn't want to lose you. You already did, I said. Leo stormed out. I didn't stop him. Mark sat down, head in his hands. I never wanted it to go this far, he whispered. But it did, I said. And I'm done cleaning up your mess. The next week was quiet. I moved into Lisa's guest room. She didn't ask questions. Just handed me wine and watched old movies with me until I fell asleep. Mark texted. Called. Left voicemails. Some angry, some pathetic. I didn't respond. I filed for separation 2 weeks later. People ask how I didn't see it. The signs. The shift in behavior. The gut feelings. I did see them. I just didn't want to believe they meant what they meant. I thought love was enough. I thought history meant something. I thought just a mistake was a real thing. It's not. A mistake is dropping a glass of water. This was a decision. A decision to lie, to cheat, to hide, and to manipulate. It wasn't just one night at a party. It was a long road of quiet betrayals. I don't know what will happen next. I'm not pretending to be okay. Some days I feel strong. Other days I feel hollow. But I'm free. And that's a start. Sometimes the biggest betrayal isn't what they did to you, it's what you had to become just to survive it.